import now. So empty scene, oh no, nothing in here. Feast transform, make sure everything should be clean and position wherever it's supposed to be, and then so that you don't have to move them. So feast transform, and I'm gonna group it, edit, group, okay, and then better to name, I'm gonna just copy that. Oh, let's copy that tire. Okay. And group GP. Hey guys, I almost forget. You need to put the name of this model because on the second project, you're gonna build another rig and then you're gonna import this rig inside the second project, because on the second project, you're gonna have the section that you open the hatch or the bottom part of the rig, and then the origami will come down. So it's kind of add-on. So let's name Gammy or something. Let's do Gammy. Okay. And now we're gonna add a manual control. So copy my. You can use my controller. So this is L side, so I'm going to use L. Here we go. And on the L, let me make sure I'm going to select just only the rim. Turn on Move Tool. Now, I changed the pivot point to here because later on we're going to attach this to the folding. So we want the pivot point to be wherever it's going to pivot to change the orientation. So we leave it as is. Maybe we use, so you can select the new curve object, shift select the tire itself, not the rim, and then you use modify align tool so that you can align to the center of it. And now on this section you may have to zoom in. Can you see if I dolly out, it's hard to, it might not see the icon. So here we go. So now it's the pivot point of, if I press 4, they are center of it. So at this moment, I forgot I got to rotate that controller 90 degree and feast transform. Hey guys, I put we can put feast transform into this tab also. Hey guys, if you use the select A, can you delete it? Because that will not work. So to put the command that we use often, like feast transform, you have to hold Control Shift together and go to Menu, Modify, and choose feast transform. Do not choose option, because if you choose option, just choose the feast transform first. Here we go. Now if I choose option, when I click on it, it opens up option. I don't need that. Go ahead.
I think my little controller here doesn't seem to be wanting to go into the center of the wheel here.
If it doesn't go to center, you have to select the controller and then you shift select the tire.
Yeah, I did that. And
okay, feast transform. See if it works. Did you feast transform?
Yeah, I freeze transformed before I did it.
Okay. Hey guys, it happens sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't recognize the last object pivot point. So in this case, you're gonna have that problem on the left side, on the right side, because I reused the left side to the right side and a feast transform, and somehow it's become complicated. So what you need to do is it's really simple. You just eyeballing it on front view, press 4, and basically you move the pivot point to the center of this line, either one of these two lines. It will work. So front view, and just move it. Like for example, I do this. Hey guys, can you watch? If I don't do line up, I'm gonna just move this, scale it, and then I'm going to freeze transform. Now, if I press D, I can change the pivot point. It's the same thing. So you just move the pivot point to close to the center. Okay. Now, the reason that I use align because I want it to be center on Y and Z on the model. That's why align to is faster. Now, if somehow align to doesn't work, you're going to have to go to font and side. Can you see? Now, I'm going to have to move the center. Here we go. So, and then you freeze transform. Okay. So basically just manually set. Now we can test if it works or not. Let's rename this. So this is going to be control, right? So I'm going to use lowercase L, gammy, and wheel, CTL. This time I just add the word gammy onto it. Okay. And you're going to put the L gammy tire group under the wheel control, so that wheel control become top hierarchy, and then we'll control the rest of it. So you can select a highlight the L gammy tire group, middle mouse drag and drop onto the controller. So now the controller is on the top if you expand it, the hierarchy. So now select the controller and try to rotate it, see if it rotates correctly, like if the pivot point looks okay. So it's centered enough. Here we go. And that's it. So now we're gonna add. So I'm gonna collapse. So there's three hierarchy here. First, and let's say the parent, a child, and then a grandchildren. So just analogy. Okay. So now we're gonna have to add a rotate node that we're gonna use the calculator, the rotate, the tire, right? So we select the wheel control, and then we group it on top of it. Group it. Now the pivot point of the group node need to be on the center of the tire. Now, if we do center pivot, it will not work correctly. It helps some. Can you see? It's at least it's centered to Z and Y, but not X, because there's object spread like this. This is the center of these two objects from the group node. That's why it does that. So change pivot point, press D, and this time use front view and just move it. Move only on X-axis so that you don't shift the Z and Y axis. And then press D. So now it's center. Rename this. This is gonna call L underscore at gammy. Just one name, just the name of the entire robot. Wheel and DP rotate underscore DP. Now, if some of you might finish this rig already and then you don't have that name, it's okay, let it go, because what you can do is when you do the second project, just make sure put the name on that model of the second project so that they are not same name as what we did here. That's all. So now the rotate group, we already know that these gonna have a offset, right? But let's do that last. Let's organize the entire hierarchy first. So now we get the rotate group. Let's create a move control. So I'm gonna use arrow. You can use this two-way arrow. It's up to you. This time let's just arrow. Here we go. And then you're gonna have to just rotate it so that it's flat. On the top view, we can see it. And now, I did not do it right. Oh, here we go. I can't see. So, it's minus X. And then, I'm going to move this. So basically, we want it to be right. You can just move it. You don't have to use line up to arrange, align to. Here we go. And you just use tripod. Here we go. Kind of center on the tire. And now, because we built this on the workspace, can you see? So these are matched. If you did not build from the workspace, what you need to do is basically you have to select and then use align to help you. You don't have to do this section. So I'm going to align it. So now let's move it to the top. And right here, I want it to be exactly center. Here we go. And then now I can let go, move that down to the bottom. The reason that I did that because so that is aligned right on the Z and X, Z and X, and then the Y that I changed. So now we're gonna phase transform right away, and yes.
Yes, to where what exactly did you do to get centered up with the wheel?
Oh, you select the controller and shift select the tire, and then you use modify, align, and basically you try to align the Z and X direction, that one, and yeah, but you don't need to align on Y axis. So, but if you align all three, like this Y, you just move it down. That's all. So mine is aligned on Z and X now. That's why it's all turned gray on the center align. So, and then after that, you phase transform on the arrow. Modify phase transform. I put it right here already, so I can phase it. And we're gonna move the icon out so that easy to select. But we don't want to move pivot point this time. So select the icon and we try to select the component of the curve. Now, the easy way to do is you temporarily hide everything else. So menu on the show menu of the viewport, isolate, select, and then view selected. Shortcut is Control 1. So I'm going to use Control 1. And then you right click and choose Control Vertex selected. And now you can do Control 1 again. So that brings everything back. And then you move it. It just makes selection a little easier. If you don't do like my technique, you're going to have to try to zoom in and select. It might take longer. There we go. And make sure transformation is clean. You need to phase it. And we're gonna call L underscore gammy underscore wheel move control. And lower CTL, all lowercase, so that easy to type on the expression. And now, save. Let me save scene as. I don't want to override. So we're gonna put 0. Okay. Okay. So now we want the rotate because the rotate group are on top of everything else. So we want the rotate group to constrain point and scale. The reason that we don't want to parent because the rotate group, rotate attribute need to be free. If we parent it, this one will not. This one will be controlled by the the wheel move control. So to do that, we need a little extra. We wanted to preserve these volumes so that it doesn't interact with the translate to the constraint point node that constrain the group node. So we need a little layer on top of it. And this time what we can use is, we can use group node also, but...
Top search result.
Oh, Google. Did I say Google? I didn't say that. That's funny. So we're going to use a locator. And I put the shortcut right here, locator. And you see right there. Now it's under create, locator. And when I put it, I just hold Control Shift click, and then it's add. Let me delete. Let me save all. Okay. So click locator. Now the locator, we want it to be on the center of the tire. So let's align with the tire shape, because the tire shape has a center point there, and I forgot to. Here we go. So now shift select the tire, select the locator, and then align to again, and align all three axes on the center. So that is inside there. Okay. And now you might not be able to see it because it's inside the surface. Now phase transform, make it clean. I already have phase transform right here. And then name it. So basically you're gonna just copy the wheel move name and rename, leave the locator, just get rid of the CTL so that they kind of match, not match, like synchronize the name. And we're gonna put these under move control. So make sure you phase transform, hold shift, select the move control, and then press P. P is shortcut for parent. See, parent. Shift P is unparent. So now, if you grab the move control, the locator should be highlighted. So now, if you want it to be able to see a little better, you can make this shape a little larger. Right now, see, it's inside there. And I could see it's a little come out. You can change the local scale. If you change this scale and you freeze it, if you remember last section, it will shrink back. But local scale, the absolute shape. So I'm gonna highlight scale X, Y, Z. I think you could even scale only one side. There we go. I'm gonna scale only on X. Yes, you can do that. X. And everything else, I'm gonna. Now this guy though, can you see? It's kind of touch. You might want to, so that you won't get confused. Select Control Vertex, grab that, turn on Move To, and just move straight, so that it's kind of out a little bit. Can you see? Like that. So that you can see, oh, there's a locator in there. Okay. Save your file. So now we're going to constrain the rotate group of the wheel to the locator. So you have to select the locator first, the wheel move locator, and then you use Control key on the outliner. You need to turn on outliner and select the group rotate, because we want the group rotate to be constrained by the locator. So the locator needs to be select first. It's different than when you're parenting. Switch to rigging module. Constrain, point constraint, open up option, because you need to turn on maintain offset. And maintain offset, what it does is from the beginning, not when we animate it. It just tries to maintain the position of the object that will be controlled by. But in this case, the locator and the group node has similar center point, like the pivot point, so they will not be moving anyway. But to be safe, okay, you need to change breaking module, constraint menu, and constraint point. Check offset, click add. So now when you look at on the outliner, can you see it add constraint node to the rotate group, the alchemy wheel rotate group. Okay, so now we have to do it more. We need to constrain, so select the locator and the group node last. We need to constrain scale. So, yes.
You went a little bit fast for me on that last one there. Could you do it one more time?
You select
constraint.
Here we go. Hey guys, if you want to delete constraint, you just highlight constraint node and delete. So you select the locator, the move locator, and then control select the rotate group on outliner. And then you go to constraint point, open up option, and then maintain offset. And that's it.
Okay.
So now, while still selected, we're going to do it one more. We're going to use Constrain Scale. Open up option. Make sure you turn on maintain offset and add. So now, when you look, if you select, the last selection is the rotate group. Can you see? It turn on crayon color. This has been constrained on translate and scale. Point constraint is the translate. Scale is the scale. Orient constraint is rotation. So now, yes.
It seems though that my constraint didn't go to the right location in my hierarchy here.
Is it in here?
No,
Rotate.
It's in my my gammy wheel move control. Yeah, where that one there.
You selected it in the wrong order.
Yes, you select in the wrong order. So
Okay.
just undo it. And what you need is you need to make sure that wheel move locator is under move control.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay.
And then you select the locator and shift and control select the group, the wheel rotate group, and then constraint. Okay. And look at on my outliner if you get confused, so that you can see the order of it. Are you guys doing okay? People who are off campus? Okay, all right. So now, next thing though, right now if you grab the move control, everything will follow. You can test scale, and now the scale is based on the pivot point of the move control. That's why we put it right there. So if you look at on my perspective view, can you see when you scale uniformly, the bottom part is stay in the bottom, and it doesn't penetrate it because the pivot point, that's it, and you can put it back to 1. So now, can you test rotate? Nope, it doesn't constrain rotate yet. We need to constrain it. Now, we cannot constrain everything on the locator because we need to kind of we need to leave this free. So what we need is we need another node on top of it and constrain only rotation. So to do that, you're gonna group this again one more time. And hey guys, when we use group node, it means you don't care about seeing the visual on screen. If you wanted to see the visual, you have to use either curve or locator. That's it. So that's why we group it to itself, because we don't care about visual. We just want the translate node on top. So you go to edit, make sure you select the wheel rotate group and group it again. Now you have to change the pivot point to the center of the wheel again. So you can start, let's rename it first. So this one you're gonna call orient. So I'm gonna copy that name and change only orientation. I'm gonna just put orient group. Here we go. So that's the name. Let me expand the group so that you can see what it is. Okay. So the orient right now is right there on the workspace. We can start off with center pivot. So modify center pivot, and almost, if you look at on here, it snapped to that pivot point. It's okay. So press D and then move it to the center. So I'm moving on front view. Here we go. A little bit off, it's okay. And press D to finish. D is a pivot mode. Okay. So now we're gonna constrain orient directly to here. We don't want it to constrain it on the locator because the locator is already control the sub level of this orient group. So it has to be controlled on the top. So you select the move tool, the move control, and then select the orient group. So I can use control click because it doesn't display it on screen. And then constrain orient. Open up option, turn on maintain offset as usual, and click add. So now when I grab this, I can move, right? And then I can rotate. Oop, I still on D. Here we go. So once again, let me put this back to 0. You add extra group node on top of the rotate group because rotate group has constraint to point and scale to the locator. But we add one more hierarchy on top, orient, and then we constrain this to the move control directly. Okay. Do you guys need a break? Anybody? Okay. Let's save your file. So the next thing we're gonna add extra attribute. To add extra attribute, we're gonna add one attribute to the move control. So select the move control. I'm gonna use selection tool and go to modify, add attribute, and we're gonna call auto, just lowercase. We're going to use operation Boolean because we want to switch on and off. That's all we need. And click add. When we click add, basically you're going to leave this window. If you click OK, we'll close the window. That's all. And we already know that we're going to use the script to check the auto needs to be 1, and then the wheel will rotate. So type 1 is on, so leave it on right away so that you won't forget. Okay. Now you're going to go back to a group wheel rotate group, and then you're going to add a new attribute called offset. This time you need to use float because you wanted in the script, we wanted to read the difference between the original offset, original attribute on offset and the translate Z, and then calculate the rotation. So leave it there and click OK this time because we don't need it anymore. So now you get offset. There we go. So now save again. We are ready to write the script. And basically the script will be applying to the rotation X on rotate GP, that's all. So, not yet. We need to add a diameter. We need to get that distance 2. So create distance, mention 2, distance 2, and I'm going to use side view. And you kind of want to place it. You can hold V key to snap vertex if you like. V. And I think I'm going to use that one a little off. It's okay. Just a little bit of it. And then V key. Now, it's kind of a little off level. So I have to move until my distance icon is becomes straight line. Because if it has angle, it will be longer. Okay. And we're going to have to rename this. The locator, let's name, we're going to put L. We're going to call diameter. So L underscore gammy underscore wheel underscore die. I mean, you can use diameter too, but it might be too long. So you're going to copy that name and then put that name in front of each locator to 1 and 2. Okay. So it looked like that. Now, let's highlight the L-gammy wheel die. Go to Attribute Editor, the third icon from the right of the status line. Here we go. And then, come on, go. Okay. The name that we need to use for scripting is right here. Second tab, and the second tab is called L-gammy wheel die and add shape next to it. So that's the name. So die and add capital S shape, and the parameter or the attribute the attribute is distance, going to be lowercase distance. So that's what we're going to use for writing, for write. So we are a little bit beyond. And so now you need to make sure that the distance to will follow the wheel everywhere if it even rotate. So the locator is the control of this shape. So we're going to have to put all the locator inside the wheel all. So can you see that gammy tire group? I think I should name all. Hold on. Wheel, so that it makes sense. All GP. Oops. There we go. So you're going to put the locator of the diameter, the distance to, minimum mouse drag and drop it on top of all group node wheel. So now that all group node, the wheel have surface, 2 of them, and then has 2 locator in it. And now if you grab the wheel control, wheel rotate. Oh, sorry guys, this is called wheel rotate control. I mean, if you're afraid that you're gonna get confused, you can rotate M manual control, something like that. So now, when I grab the wheel manual, rotate manual, can you see it's rotate everything? So the diameter, the distance to are follow. Okay. So what we did is this. Before you left, when you left, we constrain everything else. So now we just create a distance tool, so that you put to create the distance, distance to, you just place first locator and second locator. But when I did, we hold shift key, hold V key so that you can snap to vertex. You don't have to hold V key, just eyeballing it. It's just like the diameter, the widest, that's it. And then you put all 2 locators inside the wheel all group. Wheel all group is I just renamed to all, but it's under manual rotate, that's it. So, okay, so now we're ready to write the script. Oh, and we add attribute. So on the wheel rotate group, you add attribute offset, Boolean offset, and then on the move node, you add auto Boolean auto. Sorry, the auto is Boolean. So basically, let's do quick. On the move to auto Boolean, like that one, Boolean, and then on the rotate group node, you add float. It's called offset, and then float, and everything else as is. Okay. So now we're gonna write a script now. Save. Almost done. Just only the script. So if you don't remember, you can open up the so that you can see. Here we go. So the operation is you create a set of circumference, set of the 360 divided by circumference and then time distance equal to volumes of the rotation. So basically what we did is we're going to access if the entire auto rotate check must equal to 1. So the double equal is mean check and then equal. So check the right and then apply to the left. And then we're going to write the, gosh, how did I forget the word? We're going to write the variable so that we don't have to put this long name into this section. We're going to be too long line. So basically, the rotate X will use the volumes from the right side subtracting to the left and then equal to the volumes that we are calculating to. And these volumes is basically we want a translate, check the translate offset, that will be a distance, and distance will time 360 divided by the circumference. That's what it does. So to do that, and then the last line is just check the offset must equal to the distance. That's all. So now let's do it together. So we select the rotate group, the wheel rotate group. And if you open up window animation editor and expression editor, you need to find rotate X attribute. Now the quick way is you do like this. You select the rotate group, you highlight the rotate X because that's the attribute you wanted to write it. And then you go to edit menu on the checker box, expression. Now we'll highlight it right away. Okay, so you can give the name right away, L underscore Gammy underscore wheel underscore auto. I know it's a long name, but it's kind of it really describe what it is. So it's easier to figure it out later when you need to edit them. So now we put the first line, the condition, if parentheses, so close and open and close, and then inside we're gonna type check the L Gammy wheel move control dot auto double check equal to equal 1. So L underscore Gammy underscore wheel underscore move CTL underscore CTL dot auto lowercase, because when we assign the attribute, we put lowercase, right? So make sure lowercase will be easier. And double check, so it means the volumes from the right need to be equal to the volume from the left, which is 1. That's what we use. And then we're going to stop the command, finish that command by semicolon. So now we're going to create a set of function, a set of the argument. So the set of the argument is a curly bracket. And you can stop, so like that. And then inside curly bracket, we can do a set of argument. So the first thing we're going to do is, because if you remember when we look at this, is basically we want these volumes to be right here, but it's too long, so we're going to create variable. So the volumes is basically we wanted to check the offset on the move control as a distance, because we want to see we want to have a distance volume. So right here I'm going to add a $, create a variable. So this time I'm going to put capital L auto. Now when you have a right side, you're going to have capital L also, will be capital R auto. The thing is, when we bring this into a second model, the second project, we need to make a unique name. So you can do like LG, so left gammy, basically LG auto, okay, and equal to, this will be a set of the distance volume. So we're going to put parentheses, okay. Oh, sorry, no, not parentheses. The name is the rotate group. We're going to focus on the rotate group at the moment. Translate, okay, of the rotate group will be will divide it by the offset volumes of the move. So, okay. Oh, no, not move, for the rotate. I'm getting. So L, if you're lazy to type, you can, oh no, don't duplicate yet, sorry. Hold on. L gammy and wheel underscore rotate underscore gp dot translate z, because we wanted to move to z direction, right here, positive z. And then you're going to divide it. You can do like this. You can just copy this name. Once again, guys, when you copy from the expression window, it's kind of safe. If you copy offset, if you copy from a Word document, it might have that format script in it. So we'll add the format onto, and Maya may not be, will not be able to write correctly, to read correctly. So that offset, and then you have to stop. So semicolon, and now you stop. So the next line, we're going to use the rotation. So the rotation X, basically that rotation. So I'm going to just paste L gammy wheel rotate group and rotate X. Okay, we want the rotate X. So now we're going to use the assignment operator minus an equal sign. What it does is use the volumes from the right, subtract the volumes from the left, and then give that volumes for the final. So it will be final of the rotation, basically. So now on here we have variable there. So $LG auto basically use the command of this with this function, the LG auto, so that we don't have to type this thing there. Okay, so use that, and then you're gonna time, because that's gonna be a distance volumes, right? Because we check the volumes, that the different volumes from the offset to the translate will be a distance.
What's
And
that? What's that that you just have to say? That's one.
this one?
No, the one next to.
Oh, time, asterisk.
Oh, asterisk, okay, thank you.
Yep, time. And time 360 divided by a set of circumference. So we didn't check the circumference because we want the volumes of the diameters times pi to be the volumes of the circumference. The reason is we don't figure it out, the circumference, because if we scale this, the diameter will be different. So it means if we specify the circumference, it will not work when we scale it. So this way, if scale, it will update it because of the distance too. So we have to add parentheses because we want function inside parentheses to execute first before subtract by divided by 360. So now you're gonna have to type, because it's diameter times pi. The diameter is L-gamma wheel die shape dot distance. So I can do this because I kind of organized the name. So wheel underscore die capital S shape dot distance lowercase. So that will be a diameter time, put parenthesis asterisk, time pi is 3.14. So now we can stop this command, okay, and then the next line it has to check. So the check to the offset must be equal to the translate. So now put offset equal to translate C and stop. Now just to make sure, copy the whole thing, because if I misspelling or you're missing something, you don't have to retype whole thing again, because you can just edit them. So now I already named this. When I click create, lucky this time everything worked because type it correctly. So you will get result and the name of the expression. If you have an error, if you remember last time we did, just click on the script editor and then figure it out what was the error, and then you just troubleshooting. That's it. So mainly what you miss is you make a mistake by name, either capital or lowercase, or put something in the wrong spot. Now this is still not correctly. I intentionally left it. When you rotate, can you see it's backward? That because, let's go back to script and use by express name. I intentionally to leave it so that you know how to go back and edit them. So basically this is reversal, because we use this equal and subtract the volumes of the rotation. So we need to add negative 360, edit. If you do it correctly, it's going to turn result correct, and then now it's move. Okay. That's it. And when you undo, it will have a warning circle check. Don't worry about it. Let it go. Save. Now, it's done. So now let's try this. When you move for a while, you can turn off auto. put 0 on it. So now, when you move it again, hey, that's not right. No. Something happened. Circle check. It should stop. Output parent expect circuits off. Did I do something incorrect? Auto off. Hold on. Oop, what am I doing? Auto to 1. It shouldn't, when I put 0, it should turn off. It should not move. Why it still move? Now gammy wheel dot auto equal to 1 if command. Hold on, let me try this quick. Okay, guys, I forgot. Can you see what happened? I had this. So it's stop execution. It doesn't continue to execute it throughout this. So if I put that, when I put off, it's gonna still thinking as off because it's stopped. It doesn't involve with all this set at all. So what I need to do is I need to remove that continue to let it continue to check, because I close it and stop checking. So now when I do that, it works. Yes.
How do we get to that expression editor again?
Oh, how to get it? You go to Window, General Editor. Oh no, sorry, Animation Editor and Expression Editor.
Gotcha.
And then to select your script, you choose by expression name, because sometimes it's hidden it. So, John, do you have a question?
Yeah, same syntax there, and I don't know.
Okay, I'll go check with you. Anybody, anybody out off campus, do you have syntax error? So, before I stop, I'm gonna show you how to make things quicker on the second one. So the second one, you set everything. Now the name, what you need is this. If you look at on expression, right there, what you need is you're gonna copy a similar name except changing like L to R, capital L to capital R, everything else same, just L. And then you can copy and paste. After you paste on the second wheel, you just rename L to R. That's it. So it's make things faster, and that will be save you more time when we do the second project, because that's a 6 wheel. Okay, and you can't duplicate them, like duplicate the wheel and then it won't function. So okay, so that's it for today. The rest of the time you can go ahead, try to finish. And this weekend, just take it easy for now. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the video and I'm gonna help you.